from Bulldog Turf in Crown Point, or should I say Kern Terrier Turf,
what do you think,
was it?
dude? Is that all right?
That'll work.
Okay.
I'll take the non-answer as an affirmative. This is week 3 of Friday Night Insight, Crown Point High School. Jim Peters along with Steve Hanlon. We're looking at this week's football games, and out Porter way this week, one of the big ones is going to be Lake Central against Portage in the writer's nightmare, because you know the Indians are going to win, so we always got to say
Red Indians?
Blue Indians and Red Indians. The blue ones are 2-0 at this point. The red ones are 0-2. The couple of tough ball games for Portage to start off with, going to Mishawaka, a 5A sectional champion last year, then in St. Rita, a numerous-time state champion in Illinois. Fairly competitive in both games. A touchdown in the first week, couple touchdowns last week, and as we've talked to in regards to Lake Central before, a team that has to find a way to get the W when it's late and close.
Yeah. Well, the Red Indians obviously win the strength of schedule battle. Lake Central, though, a couple weeks ago I saw them very much improved. Didn't Lake Central end their Doonla streak last year again?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I think this is going to be a great ball game, and Coach Flowers and his staff have a tough job getting their guys up after 2 very tough losses, and these are the games people remember more than the non-conference games. So I think it's going to be a great ball game.
An athletic Portage team, you saw that last week, where junior Rashawn Coleman displayed his, I believe, running, receiving, and throwing skills too. The team that's got a lot of deep threats, a lot of ability to stretch the field, and it's a team that it remains to be seen how they can slug it out toe to toe defensively in a conference where you've got to do that if you're going to have any long-term success.
No doubt. You know when it rains at our house, where it hits him first?
No, I do not.
On the roof. On the roof.
Steve's on fire, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. I'll be here all weekend.
And despite that, we were our pooch wasn't able to get out to Portage to talk to Coach Jeremy Flowers and members of the Indians, but the F&I staff was, and here's a little bit of that.
The big thing for us right now is not making too many mistakes. We need to cut down our mistakes quite a bit. Our offense has struggled a little bit, and we have a very young offensive line, but they struggle as far as just being consistent with staying on sides and knowing the snap count a little bit. And in our experience, that's played a big deal on that. But for us to be successful, we're going to have to cut those down quite a bit. We do like the progression. We thought our defense played a pretty good game. Not pretty good, a really good game this past week against St. Rita. We were put into some bad situations, but they did a good job of responding and not getting their head down. And towards the end in the second half, when we started making our comeback, our offense started to get it a little bit. So we have made some strides, but this is it's a conference week, so it's all or nothing now.
I have faith in my players. We got a little slack in the beginning, but we got it together as a family. Knowing our gaps, knowing the plays, being very disciplined, and I think that will take us all the way.
Steve, who would have figured week 3 and our preseason number 1 is 0-2? Is that just our lack of acumen, or is that the pretty tough schedule that the Valparaiso Vikings have had to open?
I honestly would have picked it because with all the inexperience at different positions, I didn't expect them to go 2-0. So, I think this is when Valpo season begins, right here. A pretty good LaPorte team. They played each other for years. Last time Hoffy gets to slice it up. So, it's a big one for them. I mean, if they find a way to lose, this could be a long season.
Little ways to the east where Chesterton will open DAC play against Michigan City. Chesterton rebounded well last week with a very good defensive effort against Munster, 28-0 victory, where their option attack looked very good, and their defense was stellar, holding Munster to under 100 yards total offense. And they might get tested a little bit this week. Michigan City team that was pretty competitive against what we figure is a pretty good South Bend Washington team. So the Wolves might have a little more bite in them this year than they did last year.
Not you.
Speaking of, okay.
But it's they're not getting thrown to the dogs. let's keep that pun going.
Oh boy, where's the snare drum when we need it?
I don't know, but yeah, you know, for a young team that struggled in week one, this is a good way to start your conference play. You know, I saw Munster week one. It's a pretty good ball club, and seems like domination week two for Chesterton. So you know, kind of nothing wrong with getting some wind in your sails. And you know, again, I agree. I think this Michigan City team is a lot better than last year, but not as good as 2 years ago. So you know, we'll see.
For Steve, I'm Jim, and for Moon Unit, this week's correspondent, thanks for tuning in to Week 3 of Friday Night Insight, and get out to a ball game Friday, and we'll see you back at a school next week for another edition of Friday Night Insight. Until then, have a good week.